Right. This is your weekly world's first Xur PSA. He's located on EDZ near the Winding Cove. This is September 15th, 2023. Let's go through his entire inventory. First up, he has the exotic bow, Trinity Ghoul. This thing is incredibly good at ad clear. I highly recommend to give this a try, especially in low-end content. And stuff that's a little more challenging, you find that it might not one-hit kill those enemies with that chain lightning, but very, very good exotic if you don't already have it. The Young Hamakar Spine. Bungie just announced that they're doing a massive nerf to these, so unfortunately I would not be using these anymore, but until that nerf goes into place, I guess. But unfortunately, Bungie, this is kind of a slap in the face. They give a decent roll of them too, actually. Next up, we have the Crest of Alpha Lupi, which is a mid-tier exotic for Titans, and it has crazy 30 plus strength, which is totally unnecessary. Hard pass on that, but does have 69 stats though. Next up, we have the Ophidian Aspects, which did have their melee range recently removed, so you don't get that extended range. They're still extremely good for their ready speed and reload though overall, so definitely a solid exotic. The 20 strength, maybe not necessary, but so I'll give it an average exotic rating on the stat roll at least. Next up, we've got weapons. We've got a Tears of Contrition with a triple tap explosive payload. This is a weapon that you can craft, so keep that in mind. If you want to grab this and then add your deep sight harmonizers to it, you could. The roll right here is actually not too bad though, so new players will definitely want to snag that. Next up, we have a 7th Seraph sidearm. This has got elemental capacitor, hipfire grip. This is a decent roll. I'd say maybe an average roll at best of the sidearm. If you enjoy sidearms, it might not be too bad. Then we've got an Extraordinary Rendition with One for All, which is a really good perk in PvE. Firmly Planted, it's not going to help you at all in PvE though, so an average roll of the Extraordinary Rendition. And then we have an Iota Draconis with Harmony and Ensemble, just an average roll of that fusion. Next up, we have Hall of Denial. This is a pretty good roll with Lead from Gold and Repulsor Brace on the Trace Rifle. It's actually going to be not too bad. A lot of people will probably enjoy this and want to snag that bad boy. Next up, we have an Interference with Swashbuckler and Grave Robber. Not necessarily the best perk combination on a heavy GL. You're not trying to run up and melee things too much, so I'll probably pass on that roll. And lastly, we have a Huscow with Underdog and Quick Draw. Oh no, this is a hard pass. No way, that's a terrible roll. Next up, we have a pair of gauntlets. We're going to go through the Titan, then the Warlock, and the Hunter set. So for the Titans, we have 20 resilience, 16 intellect. Not too bad, but maybe a little too much intellect. A terrible chest piece, a terrible helmet, and an absolutely awful pair of boots. For the Hawkmoon roll this week, we got Snapshot. I think the two good rolls are probably Eye of the Storm, some like opening shot as well though. And then let's move on to the armor now for the other classes. So we've got the armor for the Warlock this week. We got the Future War Cult set if they're interested in that aesthetic. High mobility, high recovery, high strength. We'll pass on those gauntlets. High resilience, discipline, intellect. Not too bad on the chest. Maybe a little too much mobility though. Really high resilience, really high intellect. Unfortunately for the helmet, the intellect throws it off a little bit. High discipline, high mobility for the boots, so pass on those. Hunter gauntlets, we got high recovery and intellect. Pass on that. And a pretty good even distribution here on the chest. Just no mobility, and you kind of want mobility on your hunter. Super high resilience, super high discipline. This is a crazy helmet. This is S tier. Would highly recommend grabbing that. And lastly, we have a pair of boots with 60 stats. We've got recovery, intellect, mobility. Probably pass on those overall. So that's your complete Xur PSA for September 15th, 2023. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button and click on the screen here to watch another video from the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Later.